One of the strongest voices in support, though, of the president's health plan is Congressman Keith Ellison. The Minneapolis congressman has become a fixture on national news talk shows defending the overall purpose of Obamacare. And Congressman Ellison joins us now. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
All right. In a national interview earlier this week, you said that Republicans who are against Obamacare want to keep people desperate and poor. Did you really mean that?
Well, you know, that was one sentence out of a whole discussion we were having. And the reality is we're coming out of a system in which you had 47 million people who were uninsured. You had people who had insurance after they got sick would be dropped. You had a situation where medical inflation was just galloping higher every year. We've now begun to get a handle on medical inflation. We have a way for the uninsured to get insured. We have a number of things in place that are significantly improving the lives of people. Now, I'm telling you, there are some folks who are in these high deductible, high exclusion plans.
Those are the ones that don't meet the standards.
Right, and I'm sorry that, you know, they're having to go through this transition. It is bumpy. But the truth is, we've got to make the transition because the system that we had is completely unworkable and change is always difficult. And for the overwhelming majority of people who are going to be in the new system, their lives are going to be better off. They're not going to be going bankrupt because they get sick. They will be covered. People are, and oh, by the way, the 148,000 people you mentioned who received cancellations, many of them, as many as 70 to even higher, are going to have a subsidy which is going to give them a better plan at a better price. Now, there will be some people who are the same, and there will be a small percentage of people who will go up. But the plans that are going up are these high deductible, high exclusion plans, which put those people at great risk when they do get sick and need to use the insurance.
Well, the president really, though, is taking a beating on this. A lot of people very, very unhappy with plans being canceled that they like. In terms of the president,
they like them until they need to use them. I mean, the fact is, a lot of these plans, you got them, you think you have insurance right up until you get sick and you need to use that insurance, and then you got a $10,000 deductible, and then you got I mean, the reason those premiums were low is because there wasn't much coverage there. That's important to remember.
All right. Let's talk about Iran, because you differ very drastically on the position that Congressman Klein just voiced.
That's right.
What do you think about this proposal?
I think this is a wonderful thing. I think we should, I mean, it's not perfect. This is a 6-month plan. There's three important things to remember with this plan. First of all, we're going to be negotiating for a comprehensive plan over the next 6 months. But now what has happened is, number one, there's no enrichment above 5%, which is the use that is allowed by the Non-Proliferation Treaty. There is, and is non-military usage. They have to dilute the enriched uranium that it's up to 20%, which means that they're literally stepping back. There's daily inspections, which there weren't before. And this puts us in a position where we can really move forward. And Iran, what they get in exchange is they get to use about 7% of the money that they've lost because of the sanctions, and they get a chance to rejoin the world community, which I think is a good thing.
All right. Well, while I think this show is a clear illustration of the partisan divide in Washington, there has been some bipartisan work in the Minnesota delegation, specifically for something in your district that would allow, Congress has passed a measure that would allow the closing of the St. Anthony Upper Lock and Dam to prevent the spread of Asian carp.
Right.
It's not yet through, though. I mean, how confident are you that this will eventually get passed and that this will, in effect, prevent this kind of a scene from existing in our own waters?
Well, let me tell you, it's not over until it's over, but we're very close. We have a conference committee, which means the Senate and the House have appointed conferees. Our own Rick Nolan's on the conference committee, and it looks good. I was honored to work with Eric Paulson and several other members on the other side of the aisle on this issue. Republicans were cooperative, and the fact is it proves that we can get some things done when we put our mind to it. You know, I wish we could have this kind of cooperation and working together on other issues, but the reality is that's what democracy is all about, right? We have differences of opinion, and we try to work them out. Sometimes it's noisy, but sometimes we can get some things done. I think this is going to be one of them.
All right. Well, Congressman Keith Ellison, always a pleasure. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you.